guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Amy.
And I'm Kelly.
And we're the Everyday Epic. We're gonna get that.
We're gonna have to work on that.
Yeah.
A little rehearsal might have not have been a bad thing, but
yeah.
Here we are.
Oh, it's kind of on brand for us though.
It is.
You know,
it is.
Just a little bit off from perfect.
Yeah. But you know, it looks like you're just walking in on a conversation. Like, you know, join the party, you walk in, it's already going, and that's kind of what we are, I guess.
Today in this video, as you saw from the title, we're bringing you our 2023 book club picks, the Everyday Epic Book Club. We're really excited, hoping that this year's books go a little bit better than last year's.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, as we kind of learned with last year's, and you guys will see more of this in our book club wrap-up video that's coming out in a couple of weeks, we're not huge fans of the like super popular books, the hyped books.
No, apparently not.
No, apparently not. But that's pretty much all that my list is once again this year, so I apparently have learned nothing.
Mine's some. We are optimistic, eternally optimistic, that we will catch on and quit being the outliers. They say there's one in every bunch. There's two.
We're beating the odds.
We're
above average.
We're amazing.
Okay. We're something.
We're something. That's true.
But, alright.
Okay.
Well, I think Kelly's going to start us off. You got January.
Jump in. Tea time.
Yeah.
23.
2023.
I am way too old to be doing stuff like that. Anyway, here we go. Okay, so our first pick in January, we actually picked this together because I think we talked about this on one of our other videos and we were both like, oh yeah, I've got that. We need to buddy read. We never buddy read it. So here you go. Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir.
I'm so excited.
I am too. And again, hyped, but The Martian was hyped.
It was.
Hugely hyped.
It was.
And we loved it.
Oh yeah.
So, anyway, I will just read a portion of the description because it sounds so good. Ryland Grace is the sole survivor on a desperate last chance mission, and if he fails, humanity and the earth itself will perish. Except that right now he doesn't know that. He can't even remember his own name, let alone the nature of his assignment or how to complete it. All he knows is that he's been asleep for a very, very long time, and he's just been awakened to find himself millions of miles from home with nothing but 2 corpses for company.
I mean, that sounds amazing.
So, as it goes on, and I don't know, but my theory is it was the cryo sleep that probably messed with his memory, and so the longer he's awake, the more his memory starts to come back, and realizes what it is he needs to do. And I'm assuming there will probably be lots of problems with trying to complete the mission with 1 person instead of 3. And as he liked to say in The Martian, I'm going to math the shit out of this. So I'm guessing we're going to get a lot more of that in this. And I'm really looking forward to this because Andy Weir writes hard science fiction that is so accessible. And he has this line that he walks between funny and serious. And to me, it's unpredictable because it just feels like really anything could happen. Even though you think you know they're gonna make it. Come on, are they? I don't know. Anyway, really looking forward to this because I like his style and I think it's gonna be good.
Okay, I had the February pick and I wanted to try and pair it with the whole Valentine's Day holiday, so I picked a romance novel. I did have a romance novel actually be like one of my top reads from last year. It was a 5-star read and it was by Emily Henry. It was The People We Meet on Vacation. And so when I heard that she had 2 more books coming out, I immediately was like, I must read these. And so for February, my pick is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. It was the winner of the Goodreads Choice Awards for the romance category, I think in 2022 last year. So it's very, very hyped. But like I said, once I heard it was Emily Henry, I just didn't hesitate. I knew that I was going to read it anyway, and so like what better time than for book club.
I that's on my TBR and it's been there. So I'm I'm excited about that one too, which
Good.
is odd because if you've watched, I think it was our live discussion of our November read, so just a few weeks ago, that I was really disappointed in the Goodreads Choice Awards.
Yeah.
But this one, actually, I'm in for this one, so I think it'll be good.
Yeah. So the kind of overview of the book from what I read is that it's about these two book lovers, go figure. One's a literary agent in New York and another's a book editor, and they go on a vacation and end up meeting each other while they're both there on vacation. Neither one likes the other one, and my guess is that they're going to end up falling in love.
Really?
I think it's an enemies to lovers book.
What a theory!
I know, right?
And I bet there's a happily ever after too.
Maybe.
Maybe
not.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like I said, I didn't really care what the book was going to be about. I honestly, I really didn't. Like, I had no idea what it was about before I picked it for the book club. I am an Emily Henry stan after reading one book. So,
I've heard that. I've heard the
Yeah.
books are really good.
yeah. So, definitely excited for that romance pick, actually.
So, my March pick is How High We Go in the Dark by Sequoia Nagamatsu. I hope that's correct. And you can see it. There. Again, I'm going to just read because this one's strange. Go figure, I picked it. In 2030, a grieving archaeologist arrives in the Arctic Circle to continue the work of his recently deceased daughter at the Batagayka crater, where researchers are studying a long-buried secrets now revealed in melting permafrost, including the perfectly preserved remains of a girl who appears to have died of an ancient virus. Once unleashed, the Arctic plague will reshape life on Earth for generations to come, quickly traversing the globe, forcing humanity to devise a myriad of moving and inventive ways to embrace possibility in the face of tragedy. In a theme park designed for terminally ill children, a cynical employee falls in love with a mother desperate to hold on to her infected son. A heartbroken scientist, searching for a cure, finds a second chance at fatherhood when one of his test subjects, a pig, develops the capacity for human speech. And a widowed painter and her teenage granddaughter embark on a cosmic quest to locate a new home planet. So, it sounds strange and it sounds wonderful, and I kind of thought I wanted to read this, and then I read Sea of Tranquility, which is another sort of kind of literary sci-fi, and I loved it, and that's when I thought, I think I'm gonna like this too. So, and it was honestly a choice between this one and Station 11, which was written by a woman that wrote Sea of Tranquility. Anyway, both of them were pandemic stories along the same lines, you know, massive death, massive reshaping the earth, and I thought, well, you know what, I've already read by that author, let's try this one. And I've heard absolutely wonderful things. I've also heard that it's more like a series of short stories that are all tied together on how people deal with this pandemic and the after effects. So it's not like it's following one character through the whole thing, that there's several characters. And it is fairly short, so I'm interested to see how that's handled, but I've heard good things. So I'm excited about that one too. And March is my birthday month, so
Oh,
get
yes,
what
that's
I
right.
want. So I get what I want.
So I have the April pick, and I went with Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. This was actually her debut novel back in 2017, I think is when it came out. It's about this girl named Eleanor Oliphant who is apparently very like socially awkward. She's kind of deemed as like a social misfit, and she falling in love with this singer who she thinks that she just has to absolutely be with. Again, it's another romance book. I'm going 2 for 2 on the romance books this year, but I don't know. I think it sounded really, really interesting. It's been on my TBR since it came out in 2017. It's been on a lot of booktubers lists before. That's how I've yeah, that's how I know about it. So I'm definitely excited to read it. They are also supposed to be making it into a movie at some point. Yeah, so maybe it might be good. And I do think that it's going to deal with some tougher topics, because I think that a lot of her social anxiety and stuff kind of comes from her depression and things like that. So there's going to be some tough things to read through, but I'm still like really excited for this one, and kind of hope to see the little romance that she goes with. I hope it works out for her. So yeah, that's my April pick.
Okay, so for May, I picked Gods of Jade and Shadow by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. And I honestly picked this one out because I adored Mexican Gothic. Loved it. And so I thought, yep, we gotta do her again. Jazz age is in full swing, but Cassiopeia Tunn is too busy cleaning the floors of her wealthy grandfather's house to listen to any fast tunes. Nevertheless, she dreams of a life far from her dusty small town in southern Mexico, a life she can call her own. Yet this new life seems as distant as the stars, until the day she finds a curious wooden box in her grandfather's room. She opens it, Pandora, and accidentally frees the spirit of the Mayan god of death, who requests her help in recovering his throne from his treacherous brother. Failure will mean Cassiopeia's demise, but success could make her dreams come true. In the company of the strangely alluring god, and armed with her wits, Cassiopeia begins an adventure that will take her on a cross-country odyssey from the jungles of the Yucatan to the bright lights of Mexico City and deep into the darkness of the Mayan underworld. So 1920s Mexico, jazz age, folklore,
The underworld.
I'm saying it just all sounds like it's all there for me. And as you could have seen from the cover here, it's a stunning cover. It's really a 1920s Art Deco. It's gorgeous. So looking forward to that one. Really kind of bummed that I have to wait until May to read it.
Alright, well I have the June pick, and I figured what is more summery than a southern book club slaying some vampires. So I went with my pick, if you haven't guessed already, the Southerners Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires by good old Grady Hendrix. I know Kelly's so excited about this because she loves Grady Hendrix so much.
This was on my TBR though, because I read, last year we read My Best Friend's Exorcism, which I did not like, and then based on Amy's recommendation, I read the Final Girl Support Group. Yeah, that's the one, because I just came across, I did not know there's also a book called The Final Girl. So anyway, I get confused. Anyway, I like that one better. So this is third chance. If I don't like this one, we're done with Grady Hendrix.
I literally wrote down here in my notes, this is Grady's chance for redemption.
That's right. We're done after this.
So I hope it works out. But pretty much the whole summary of the book is that there's this women's book club down in the South who unmask a vampire in their midst and then take it upon themselves to try and slay the vampire and save their whole suburban community. And I love everything about that. It sounds amazing to me, and quite frankly, I don't think that there's any better vampire slayers than a southern woman, because I would be terrified of one of them if they came after me. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be great. There's a lot of good potential here, I think. And I also think that it's gonna have some good comedy in it.
I'm really hoping for a lot of southernisms.
Yes.
I don't know if they're still putting it out there, but there was a group of women on YouTube, and I can't even remember what their channel was called. But it was, I think it was like shit Southern Women Say. I think it's shit Southern Women Say. There was one that always had, down at the Walmarts.
Down at the Walmarts. But that's just what my dad says. And he's not even Southern. Everything has to have an S on it. We gotta go to the Walmarts.
To the Walmarts. But it was always like, did you hear pork rinds are on sale down at the Walmarts?
Better go grab your buggy.
But there's always, you know, and of course, my absolute favorite is I'm gonna knock you into next week, so just so you can tell me the weather. So I'm really hoping
I love that
there's some good Southernisms in here, because I just love that. I just do.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh every time. So.
That's amazing. I hope so. Now I'm like extra excited. And I'm gonna be so disappointed if he doesn't.
I don't know if I got so excited, but I'm willing. And it's been on my shelf, so yeah.
Yeah, that was actually Kelly's copy that I'm holding.
Yeah, it's like it's
So,
been
you
on my
know.
shelf. Yeah, there we go. I guess I'll buy anything. It's a joke. It's a joke. All right, so July, I picked Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. And this is such a pretty cover. It's a 75th, I don't know if you can see that. It's a 75th anniversary edition. It's really pretty. I am embarrassed to say that I do not know what this book is about. I really probably ought to. So, unfortunately, I have to read. Is an enduring Southern love story sparkling with wit, beauty, and heartfelt wisdom, told in the captivating voice of a woman who refuses to live in sorrow, bitterness, fear, or foolish romantic dreams. It is the story of fair-skinned, fiercely independent Janie Crawford and her evolving selfhood through 3 marriages and a life marked with poverty, trials, and purpose. A true literary wonder, Hurston's masterwork remains as relevant and affecting today as when it was first published, perhaps the most widely read and highly regarded novel in the entire canon of African American literature. That really doesn't say what it's about. Honestly, I think I just knew that it was an important book. And I mean, I don't want to say I just read books because they're important, but I just heard it, I guess along the lines of Beloved. I never really knew exactly what Beloved was about, but I knew that it was an important contribution to African American literature, and I loved that. I loved Beloved. So again, I know I've heard of this book. The title catches me all the time. Their Eyes Were Watching God, and I bet it's beautiful.
I think that's on the
Don't say Goodreads.
No, the Great American Reads 100, like top 100.
Is it?
I think it is.
Like I said, I knew that it was considered to be kind of a one of the works of African American literature and important works. So I thought, you know what? I need to read that. So there we are. And again, God, the cover is so pretty. And yes, I am a cover buffer.
Alright, so for August, I picked In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. This book I actually heard about from Books and Lala, her channel. We mentioned her earlier.
We mentioned her a lot.
We did mention her a lot. You can't, she's our favorite booktuber, or at least one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah.
So, I didn't really know too much about this book until earlier today when I looked it up. I don't like going into my books knowing what they're about. Like, I kind of, like...
I want an idea, but yeah, I don't want to know the whole...
I don't know. I pretty much am just kind of like one of those people who's like, oh, all these people are recommending this book, you should read it, and I'm gonna read it, and not like really look and see what it's about.
You sheep.
I know. I'm sorry.
And that's why we end up with hyped books on our list.
You know what? I didn't pick all of the hype books that were on the list last year, Miss Kelly.
I can't. I don't think I did. I don't think I picked any.
Cersei? Cersei?
Okay, but I knew what that was about, and I like Greek mythology just because the book let me down.
It's never Kelly's fault.
Never.
Kelly never does anything wrong. I'm sorry for accusing
Never.
her.
You should be.
Okay, so In My Dreams I Hold a Knife is like a really good thriller, or supposed to be a really good thriller murder mystery, where these friends from college all are reunited at this college reunion. There were originally 8 of them, and during their final year of college, one of them died. One of them was accused of the murder, and the other 6 have forever held on to the secret of what actually happened that night. And at the college reunion, those secrets start to be exposed, as someone is trying to actually get down to the bottom of the murder. I'm very excited for this. And just to I love a good murder mystery.
Okay, so I have September, and I picked for September The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. This is kind of a murder mystery slash fantasy slash time travel, so maybe a little sci-fi kind of story. The main character, the guy, witnesses a death, and Evelyn Hardcastle's death, and of course chaos ensues over all of that, but when he wakes up the next day, it's the same day. Evelyn is alive again, so it's kind of a Groundhog's Day situation. And basically, until he can solve the mystery of who killed Evelyn Hardcastle, the day will keep repeating itself. So he has to solve this murder mystery and save Evelyn's life. I thought it sounded fun.
It does sound fun.
And it sounds like a cozy kind of, not literally cozy mystery sort of thing, but a cozy kind of fall read. So I picked that for September.
It's been on my TBR for a while too.
Mine
So
too.
I'm excited.
Mine too. Yeah. Along with, I think it's the 22 Deaths of Madison May. I think it's that. Yeah, it's Madison May, I know that, but I think it's the 22 Deaths. Anyway, same kind of line, but yeah.
They got nothing on Dean Winchester with his multiple deaths. So.
Well.
What episode was it?
Yeah.
The Tuesday that kept.
Yeah.
The heat of the moment.
Yes.
There's never not a good time for a supernatural reference.
There is not a situation that you could not use a supernatural reference for.
Facts.
Because it went on for 13 years.
Not long enough. Alright, so I had the October pick, which is also my birthday month and also one of my favorite months of the year because Halloween and spooky season. And so I knew that I wanted to have a book that was a horror book or a thriller or something like that. And the first book that came into my mind is one that I have been wanting to read for a very long time now. It's been at the top of my horror TBR, and that is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. So it's a psychological horror that follows these 4 indigenous men after they go through this traumatic event when they were younger, and how that causes a lot of issues in their lives, and they actually end up having to, I think, fight for their lives, or there's a lot of they're struggling for their lives or stuff like that.
Well, yeah, whatever the thing is, it's coming after them.
Yeah.
It's trying to pick them off.
Yeah. Well,
This one's been on my list for a long time too.
Yeah. So, it was the Goodreads Choice Award winner for the horror category in 2021, which is...
Well, that was a different year.
It was a different
It was
year.
a different time. Back when things were more
It's
simple.
a simpler time with the Goodreads Choice Awards.
When people knew what they were talking about.
Anyway, that seeing it on the list really solidified that on my TBR for me, that book, because Books and Lala was the one that actually got me interested in it in the first place. Go figure. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to this one.
Kayla, you need to sponsor us because they don't think that we do a video ever that we don't mention you at least once.
But anyway, yep, that's my October pick. I'm very excited for a good
I am too.
psychological horror. It's gonna be good.
Mhm.
It's gonna be good.
So, I don't know that we planned this, but we're going to do 2 indigenous stories back to back. And so for November, I picked The Sentence by Louise Erdrich. And I don't know that I pronounced that right, but there it is. So it takes place mostly in a small independent bookstore in Minneapolis, and it's haunted from November of 2019 to November of 2020. So kind of why I picked it for November. By the store's most annoying customer. Flora dies on All Souls Day, but she simply won't leave the store. Tookie, who has landed a job selling books after years of incarceration that she survived by reading with murderous attention, must solve the mystery of this haunting while at the same time trying to understand all that occurs in Minneapolis during a year of grief, astonishment, isolation, and furious reckoning. So, It's a ghost story.
I'm in.
And the main character, Tookie, is indigenous character, which Louise Erdrich is an indigenous author. And actually, I picked this up in November, which is Indigenous Peoples Month. So another reason to read this in November. So we will have 2 indigenous stories back to back.
Look at us being cultured.
So anyway, I think it is a ghost story set in obviously a bookstore, but I think it's also about Tookie, who is kind of rebuilding her life out of getting out of prison, and I'm sure there's going to be some deep themes in that too. So.
The final book for our picks of 2023 comes in December, because that's the last month of the year.
That is the last month. That would be the end.
I struggled not just with learning the months of the year, but also with picking a book for December, because I really, honestly, I wanted to find like a good Christmassy story, but there just aren't any that are on my list that really stick out to me as like one that I want to read, and all of the others were like happy little romances, and I'm like, I already have 2 romances, I'm already pushing my luck for my picks this year. And so instead I went with The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna, who is actually the author of the Firefly Lane books, and that is the only reason that I even know who she is, because I love Firefly Lane. It's one of my all-time favorite shows. Haven't read the books yet, but the show is amazing, and if the whole like book is better than the movie thing is true, then I'm very excited to get those books read. And actually, I think I'm gonna like start reading them, because I can't wait until June for the new season. So
I gotta know what happens.
I have to know what happens. So anyway, but yeah, The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna is a historical fiction novel that actually follows this woman and her life during the Great Depression. So it's set in the 1930s, 1920s.
Late 20s, early 30s. Yeah.
Look at me knowing history. But yeah, so I'm not exactly sure how I feel about a story about the Great Depression, because it's not really an event in history that interests me all that much. But I don't know, like I said, if it's anywhere near as good as a Firefly Lane show and how I expect her Firefly Lane books to be, then I think I'm going to really like this book. I don't know.
I've actually read the first sample part of that, because a friend of mine highly recommended it. And the sample part that I read is it's a little rough, but it's really beautifully written. So, and I think I've heard that about all Kristen Hanna's books. You know, she's written a ton. But I think what I've got off the snippet, it follows this woman as she makes her way through the Depression and how she survives. And I'm sure, because they always seem to with these kind of books, I'm sure she triumphs. That always seems to be the word that's used. But I know in the sample part, she's a young girl, like a teenager. And she meets this boy at a dance, and they fall in love, and they do things they shouldn't do, and she ends up pregnant, and her family kicks her out. Oh. And so, yeah, in the start of the Depression, she's having to go live with her lover's family as she has this baby. And yeah, so it's like I said, it's a bit of a rough start. This poor girl.
It can only go up from there.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling we're gonna cry. I hope we cry. I do. I hope we cry, because I hope it, like we said about all the light we cannot, or all the light you cannot see, you know, we should have cried.
Yeah.
We should have cried. So hopefully we will cry.
By George, we're gonna have a December read that makes us cry.
We are gonna cry.
We want to cry in December. Seasonal depression's at an all-time high.
I want to cry.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yep. We'll see.
See?
So that's the lineup.
That's our 12 books of 2023.
Yeah.
I'm excited for all of these.
I am too. Have you finished? You haven't finished our December book club yet, have you?
I haven't started our December book club yet.
Have you not? You haven't?
No, it comes in the mail Saturday.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna get it done, Kelly.
I know you will, but we're like, what, scheduled for 3 o'clock? On the
3 p.m.
15th?
Yep, 3 p.m.
So you can pretty well guarantee that it will be 3:30 because she'll be finishing the book.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. See, this is a new year, new me, baby, okay? We're not going to be doing that whole last minute reading thing. As soon as that book comes here in the mail on Saturday, I will be reading it on Sunday.
Okay.
And I'll have it done by the 15th.
Okay. I'm having flashbacks, though, to my best friend's exorcism,
What?
where I sat there and twiddled my thumbs and ended up saying, you know, you really don't need to read that last chapter because we really ought to get going here.
That may or may not have happened.
It did. It so happened.
Hey, you know what? I'm starting this year off better.
Okay. It's today. Filming day is January 5th, and she hasn't read our December book yet. But New Year, New You.
You know what? If I read this book in December, I would have to read it again anyway.
No, you wouldn't, because you take notes. I'm the one that doesn't take notes.
No, because
Now I'm going to have to read it again.
there's going to be too many books in between.
And I don't want to read it again.
I've read like 3 books in the past week.
Really? What you read?
I read Beartown.
Oh,
Best
yeah.
Friends
Just
2?
like just now. I thought you said you'd read it before. But you like
Oh.
meant like right now.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't read any books this week. I haven't read it all this week.
It
I
really
know.
is a new year, new you, Kelly.
No. No. We'll see.
We will see.
We'll see.
December 15th. We'll all
If
see it together.
3 o'clock on the nose on the 15th, we go live, I will have been wrong.
Challenge accepted.
Alright, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Anyway. Anywho.
Any Hoosers. We need to wrap this video up.
We do need to wrap this video up. We are done.
We're done.
But there's our lineup.
Yep. I'll have something up on the screen here with all 12 of the books so you can see it all at once.
Yeah.
And
So, right now though, this is because it's January. Project Hail Mary. Andy Weir. Join us. We're reading it now. We'll have our discussion, our first 2023 book club discussion for 2023 reads.
first part of February.
Yeah, in February, first part of February, we'll be talking about Project Hail Mary. And I'm saying, it's a chunky.
It is chunky.
It's a chunky one. So, it's like 500-page book. Pretty close. Pretty close. 480, I think.
I'm really hoping it's a fast read.
Yeah, The Martian was no small book.
The Martian
Really?
was tiny.
Was it? Oh, I guess it was. Yes, it was. Look at that. It was tiny. So hopefully it'll go fast because you now have 2 books to read for book club in January. But you know, it's all right. It's all good. Join us. Read along with us. 3 o'clock on the 15th. Tune in.
For the Midnight Library live in the first part of February. We'll be back with Project
We'll be
Hail
back
Mary.
with this. But yes, The Midnight Library by...
Matt Haig.
Nuh-uh.
Yep.
Is it?
Yeah.
Haig? Helfin. No.
No.
That was-
H-A-I-G.
Oh, Helfin was my book, my winner pick. Wow. Okay, all of these. Okay, all these men. You just can't tell them apart. They all sound the same. I'm joking, people. I'm joking. The Midnight Library will be our book club discussion on the 15th. Join us 3 p.m.
Yeah.
while we talk about that book. And then, yeah. And then read this book. Here we go.
And exciting news as well is we're going to have some more additional videos coming out throughout
We are.
the year. We're hoping to have them all posted on a consistent schedule, Sundays at 3 p.m. for 2022 wrap up. And then I think we're also going to do our reading stats from last year, talking
Yes.
about our top 5 books and our worst 5 books that we read.
Yeah. And our stats.
And our stats.
So that I can feel superior.
Yep. Because I'm sure
I
one
am
of
all
us.
dogging you. I'm sorry.
sure one of us met our
sorry.
Goodreads challenge goal.
I exceeded. I really did, because I was coming off of a slumpish time, and so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to read 12 books for sure because of those, and then I thought, okay, I can at least read an extra book each month, so I was up to 24, and I think I landed and said 30. That's what I'm going to do, and I read something like 45, so
Spoilers.
I don't know. Yeah, that's probably not accurate because I don't really know, but
All right. Well, it's been fun sharing our 12 book picks with you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you're excited to read all of them.
please come read with us. We like company.
Yeah, we'd love for you to
Come and watch our, join in on the live shows, discuss it with us.
Yeah, type in the little comment box.
That's right. I promise we would love the input, because otherwise we just sit here and go on and
Ramble.
on. Can you tell?
But anyway,
Okay.
yeah. And you can also go and check out both of our Instagrams. We'll be posting updates and stuff on there. Kelly at Katie Reads and
Sure we will.
me at the _ everyday adventurers. I'll have them both linked down in the description so that they're easy to find. And yeah, I think that's it.
That's it.
So I'm Amy,
And I'm Kelly.
and this has been
The Everyday
Everyday Epic.
Bye.